This is the Dodgers Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, hello and welcome to the Locked On Dodgers Postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. Instant reaction for you right here on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. I am Pete Fox, covering sports in LA, dating back to 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. Nando, I love you, man. I absolutely love you because I love a bit, and I love a bit that goes on and on and on. And this one has gone on now for 2 seasons that I do not think Shohei Ohtani is good, or that more importantly, that I'm not impressed by him. And, it takes a lot for Ohtani to impress me. And it's funny that you say that, Nando. He says, Pete, would you be impressed if Ohtani hit 4 home runs? I'm having a text conversation with my Dodger friend buddies, who one of them had put up the stat that Shohei Ohtani is the first player in Major League Baseball history with the game of 3 home runs as a hitter and 10 Ks as a pitcher, regular season or playoffs. So my response was basically, yeah, it's a big deal, right? And then, but let's be honest, all of those were bad pitches in Shohei Ohtani's wheelhouse. And if the Brewers were paying attention to what was happening earlier in the season, or in the playoffs rather, and you throw him down and in, down and in, down and away, he'll flail at it and strike out. He's had 1 other hit this series. 1. Right? And he's going to win the MVP because he had 1 game that he went off in, right? So my response was, no, it's amazing, no doubt about it. But at the same time, those were all mistake pitches thrown in Ohtani's wheelhouse. And my friend says, that's irrelevant. I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a hater. I'm really not. What he did tonight was otherworldly, Nando, to be clear. I mean, it is, as my friend said, it's not something we've ever seen in over 100 years of Major League Baseball. And I say that all the time. We see something almost every night that we've never seen before. And tonight it was Shohei Ohtani. 3 home runs and 10 strikeouts on the mound. Strikes out the side to start the game. Leads off with a homer, 446 feet. Then Mookie singled, Will Smith singled, Edman singled to drive home Mookie, and Teo put one in play, a little number down the first base line, which got Will Smith in, made it 3-0. So the Dodgers were kind of cruising from there because Shohei was pretty much unhittable. I mean, he really had it working tonight. In the 4th, after the 3rd inning, when the Dodgers had 1st and 3rd no outs and left them stranded, which again, I was like, that's not cool. I don't like that. But at the same time, 3-0 felt like 13-0. It didn't feel like, especially with Ohtani on the mound, and the bullpen has been much better. I didn't feel like we were going to have one of those 8th innings like we saw against the Cincinnati Reds. Craig says his greatest game as a player. Yeah, no doubt. Does it deserve an MVP? I mean, he won 1 game single-handedly. I mean, there were 3 other games that other people contributed to, like Tommy Edman and Teoscar Hernandez and other guys that had better numbers throughout the series. I'm not watching any coverage at the moment. So when they announce the MVP, if it's during the show, please put it in the chat, because I don't know for a fact that he's going to win it, but it feels rather obvious at this point, I think. Yeah, this has been a topic for the last couple of shows. Manuel says, where's that loser Evan? Yeah, we haven't heard from Evan in a while. He kind of disappeared when the Dodgers started smoking the Brewers and took a commanding advantage in this series. So yeah, I think Shohei Ohtani should win the MVP. I don't know. I mean, look, the popularity contest. I don't know that this game although it is remarkable, and as I said, otherworldly, I don't know that it's worthy of the MVP nod in this series. But yeah, that shot that he hit in the fourth inning, 469 feet, it left Dodger Stadium. It hit the roof of the pavilion or went beyond the roof and went out of the stadium. Of course, then everyone starts saying, is that the longest home run in Dodger history? It's not, or Dodger Stadium history. Willie Stargell hit one in 1969, part of the We Are Family team that won the World Series, 506 feet. So my wife brought up an interesting point. How do they measure that? How do they know? And I'm like, now they know because they have cameras on it, and there is a computer that is, graphing and measuring everything. But in 1969, I have no idea how they know. You could obviously maybe question whether or not that is a legitimate 506. But that is the record for the longest home run at Dodger Stadium, Willie Stargell, 1969. The 10Ks are Shohei Ohtani's first 10K game as a Dodger. And he was pulled in the seventh, 2 on, no outs. Then Vesia came in, gets a pop-up and induces a double play. Gotta love GIDPs to get out of jams, although calling it a jam was a bit of an exaggeration. Greg says, I knew Ohtani would show up. He's still learning what it's like in the playoffs. This sets the stage for future performances. Look, I've said that too, Greg. It's a good point. And look, I'm glad that he finally had run into his bat ran into a few because, as we've said, it's not okay for Shohei Ohtani to be doing what he has been doing up until tonight. Now, this obviously is a different level for sure, but 3 hits over the postseason. Over the DS and the CS. He's just been ice cold because he's been really out of sync. Hip flying open. We've talked about it a lot. Swinging at bad pitches, coming to the box, coming to the plate with no approach. See the ball, hit the ball. So thanks to the Brewers for getting Shohei Ohtani back on track and, reestablishing his dominance and confidence by throwing pitches right where Shohei likes them. Again, I feel like it's, they made a bunch of mistakes and Shohei took advantage of it. So good on him for doing that. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge that the Brewers were just not sticking to the scouting report over the last cold streak for Shohei Ohtani, because you throw that ball down and in or down and away, he's just been swinging at it and hasn't been close. So the fact that they kept throwing pitches over the plate to Shohei Ohtani, and especially the ones that were in, he loves that pitch, middle in. Oh, that's like, that's just, it's brain lock from the Brewers, taking nothing away from Shohei Ohtani. I disagree with my friend that it is irrelevant. It is relevant, but it is also something that you have to execute. Right. And he did. So give him credit for that. Shohei Ohtani, a once in a lifetime game. If you watch tonight, that is a game that you will tell your friends or your kids or your grandkids about for a long time. And we've seen Shohei Ohtani do those things before. So that's the other thing for me. It becomes a tad bit old hat, right? Like, yeah, okay. I've said this over and over again. The great thing about Shohei Ohtani, he can be as cold as he's been over his last 26 at bats and then do that. That's what's amazing about Shohei Ohtani, right? It's like like Brian Anderson brought up the analogy to Steph Curry. Steph Curry can go 0 for 10 for 3 and they're still double teaming him because that the next one probably go in and then he could make 5-6 in a row from that point on. And that's the way Shohei Ohtani is. That's how great he is. He has the ability to be ice cold for an extended period of time. And it's not like he has to wade back into the deep end, right? He could go from, dangling his toe over the side of the pool to I'm in the deep end swimming around just lapping it up, right? Which is what he did tonight. 3 home runs, including one that went 469 feet. The first one was 446 feet, and I believe the third one was like 427. Still a bomb. All 3 of them bombs. The one that he hit 469 was, launched into orbit. I mean, just out of control. And then on the mound, we could spend this whole postcast talking about Shohei Ohtani. I mean, it's the Shohei Ohtani postcast tonight. So let's do this.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Will Smith for calling such a great game. Shohei Ohtani, obviously, 3 home runs and 10 Ks, just unbelievable. As for the turning point of this one, that's a little bit different.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Shohei Ohtani was at the start of the turning point in the first inning when he homered in his first at bat, followed by a Mookie single and then a Will Smith single, and then Tommy Edman, who had a fantastic series and at the very minimum deserves honorable mention for player of the game and MVP of the series because he was absolutely red hot driving in that second run to make it 2-0. So turning point goes to Tommy Edman, who was player of the game yesterday and just had a fantastic series. So, almost on the fringe of backing up and repeating his MVP in the NLCS last year. So good stuff from him, and the Dodgers are absolutely rolling while the Blue Jays and Mariners beat each other up. Heading to a game 6 back in Toronto. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel, where you find the daily Dodgers podcast Monday through Friday with Travis Rogers, an in-depth examination of what's going on in the Dodger universe. Check them out. Today's episode of the Locked On Dodgers postcast is brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks. Don't miss the excitement of this football season. Don't miss the season with Prize. Okay, so that means use Prize Picks this football season. Never actually read that line the way it's written. Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is so much fun. I've done it a lot, and it really does add to the excitement of any sport, not just football. Obviously, the postseason in baseball, you can find a myriad of different projections there that, you could, how many strikeouts will Ohtani or any Dodger starter have? And you can wager on that. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 players and their projections, and away you go. It's that simple. So download the Prize Picks app or use their website, prizepicks.com, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's the code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. Today's episode also brought to you by FanDuel, where the NFL season is rolling along and in full swing. And FanDuel has an offer for you that you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet is a winner. No pressure. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app on any sport. As I've just mentioned, NBA season right around the corner, NHL off and rolling, college football, they have it all. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Dodgers sweep the Brewers out of the playoffs. Got to feel a little bit sorry for the Brewer fan base after such an impressive season, and to go out like that, just in a whimper. Oh man, that's going to be a tough one for Brewer fans to swallow. They're going to be drowning their sorrows in the Miller Genuine Draft here all night long and probably through the entire weekend, without a doubt. But hey, good news for the Dodgers. Everything is good. At least a few days off, right? So the Jays and Mariners heading to Toronto. they are going to be off tomorrow. That is a travel day. So are they playing on Sunday? Yes. So Sunday game 6, 5:03. And then Monday would be game 7 at 5:08. That's weird. One's 5:03 and one's 5:08. That's bizarre. So let's hope it goes 7. My wife said, isn't it bad for the Dodgers to be resting right now? No, it's absolutely not. It is perfectly fine for them to rest right now and get ready for this World Series, because you want your pitchers to be all rested up. You could set your rotation, and we know how that is going to go. It'll be Snell, it'll be Yamamoto, it'll be Glasnow, and then it'll be Shohei, more than likely. Maybe they, after what Shohei did tonight, maybe they put Glasnow as the 4th, and they put Ohtani as number 3. I don't know. But the fact is that either Seattle or Toronto is going to be reeling with their pitching, especially Toronto. But, the Seattle Mariners starting rotation is a little deeper than the Blue Jays is. So either way, it works out good for the Dodgers to be able to get those guys lined up the way that you want them, get the bullpen rested, especially Sasaki. Not that they need the rest, because they really didn't do a whole lot in this series with the starters working so deep. That was absolutely fantastic to see. Another nice performance today from Banda and Vesia, 2 guys that I have appreciated their performances throughout this entire season and have expected them to be higher on the trust tree. Maybe not higher than they are right now, because I feel like they're pretty high up there. Blake Trinan, who, I'm always skeptical of. He's definitely a nail bite inducing performer when he comes out there. But today, ultimately, he was okay. I don't want to come down on him too much. He didn't really cause too much damage. He got a strikeout, gave up a walk and a hit. So picket fence across the boards for him, a bunch of 1s there and a 0 for home runs. Only 10 pitches, only survived a third of an inning, but Banda came in to get out of it. And then Sasaki for the 9th, only 9 pitches for him. Gave up a hit to the first guy, the rest zeros from there. So no Ks, but easy peasy lemon squeezy. 9 pitches for him, the ERA at 1.13. So he's rolling. The bullpen is, looking good. It's not last year's bullpen, but I would much rather have what we have this year, with the starting rotation being so solid, so locked in right now, that, it is going to be tough to beat the Dodgers in this World Series without a doubt. Dusty Willis says, trying to look like garbage again. I'm not a fan, Dusty. I tend to want to agree with you, but he did get a K. It wasn't terrible. He's been a lot worse. Give Dave Roberts credit for that, for not leaving him out there too long. He went lefty, and that worked out for them to their benefit as well. Nando says Pete would be somewhat impressed with Ohtani only if he had 4 home runs. Yes, that's right. It's 4 or nothing, 3 home runs. Anybody can do it. Kike Hernandez can do that. He hit 3 home runs against Boston in 2017. Chris Taylor can hit 3 home runs, Nando. If Chris Taylor can do it, anybody can do it. It is not that big of a deal. Come on. 4, and then I'll be saying, yes, I am impressed. Manuel says Ohtani declared. That's an interesting way of putting it. Named, I think, would be another way of putting it. But Ohtani wins the MVP for, I still don't see it on ESPN. So I'm going to take your word for it there, Manuel, that he is the MVP of this series. Not surprising at all. When you do that, 10 Ks and 3 home runs, yeah, you deserve to be excuse me, honored in some way. Damn. Can't get a word out. I guess that's a good time to call it. Damn. 5-1 the final. Dodgers sweep the Brewers and move on to the World Series. which will start if that series goes 7, they probably start the World Series Wednesday or Thursday, maybe even Friday. So we could be down for a while. 5-1 today. Ohtani gets the win on the mound and hits 3 home runs. All about Shohei, and the bullpen looked good, and everything is rosy. The Dodgers are sitting pretty right now, returning to the World Series, trying to back up what they did last year. Real quick, want to shout out Will Smith with a couple of hits, Freddie, Tommy, and Teo all with base hits. So the top 6 in the lineup tonight, all getting on base with base hits. Max and Kike went over, as did Andy Pajes, but that's okay. When the top of the lineup is hitting in this team, the bottom of the lineup is just icing on the cake. We much rather have it look like this than when the bottom of the lineup has to pick up Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts and Freddie and Will Smith, etc. So all is well after the Dodgers sweep the Brewers with a 5-1 win today. That is going to do it for me here on the Locked On Dodgers postcast. Don't forget, check out the Locked On Daily Dodgers podcast Monday through Friday with Travis Rogers heading into the World Series, and we will be back for Game 1 of the World Series as the Dodgers will take on either the Brewers or the Toronto Blue Jays, as they will play Game 6 on Sunday in Toronto. Mariners leading that series 3-2. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate the comments as always. Take care, guys. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.